And Moses right away just fell on his face. I'm not talking about, got down on his knees. It says he fell on his face to the Lord. Okay? He fell on his face before God knocked him and the congregation down. Right. So again, representing them, he fell on his face, but all of them should have, okay? Especially these guys. And he's speaking to Korah and all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near to him, even him who he hath chosen will he cause to come near to him. This do this, he said. Take these censers, where the utensils they put the coals into, and they wave the censers, and the smoke will go as prayers to God. They represented prayers, okay? And so the priests had the censers. In fact, the way it reads here, it looks like all the heads had censers, if not all the people. I don't know, right? But anyhow, he says, every one of you take your censers. And the Lord's going to show, take your censers and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And this shall be that when the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. That's holy man. Whoever God chooses. That's fair. Moses stood up for the people. So everybody give their censers and let God make the choice. Right? Just he said that Moses has a sinful position he shouldn't have taken. Then Moses said back to them and said, you take what's upon you. Hear somebody? Then to Moses takes it upon himself and he says, get everybody the censer. He said, because you take too much upon you. You sons of Levi. And Moses said to Korah, here I pray you, you sons of Levi. This here has a personal message for all of us. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the Lord, that the God of Israel, hath separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister to him. Again, go back to those first two verses I read at the start of the class with the Levites. He said they have no inheritance. But what kind of inheritance do we have? He said, I'm your inheritance down here. I'm it. I'm not going to make you blessed and prosperous and rich down here. I'm it. I'm your inheritance, but I got something for you over there that's out of this world because you're mine particularly. The Levites are guys in a special way that none of them ever tried to Israel were. When they go to heaven, they're going to get a reward in heaven that none of them ever tried to get. They'll get a special place. And eventually they will get a part of land. And I can tell you right now, he's going to give the Levites the biggest and best land on the earth. Because we know that. You're his spiritual Levites. We are a kingdom of priests. So we're a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, so on and so forth. Not to get it now, though. He said, right now, I'm your inheritance. You got me. But somebody wrote a song one time and said, I got Jesus, and that's enough. What more do you need? You know, he said that David put it properly. He said, the Lord is my shepherd. Somebody, I understand that verse one time. The Lord is my shepherd, son of one. Well, I do want to change. No, then the Lord showed me how to read it. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want any other. Have no need for any other. He's my shepherd. Everything I need, he is all in him. I shall not want. And as being a sheep, a part of his fold, and he be my shepherd, I'm going to be led beside still waters, whether I want to or not. I'm going to lie down in the green pasture, whether I want to or not. When I go through the valley of the shadow of death, he's going to be with me. He's going to lead me actually through it. And what more do I want? I shall not want. For those who met Jesus and know Jesus, you can testify that you have not looked for anything else. What do you look for? Who is it to look for? What they said that we read last week, he said, is there another guy besides me? I know about him. And he brags. He brags about who he is. And what he do? We can read it off, but he has bragging rights because there's none like him. Not going to take you and say, you're mine. I'm going to take care of you. There's nothing out here on this earth you're going to go through. He's not there with you. He will take you through it.
Thank you.
Sometimes it looks like it don't. He says, sometimes it takes to prove you.
Yeah.
To prove you're going to go to another means. To another God and go shop around for another God and leave me and leave my church and things. He takes us through things. He can do that. Then he takes you through it. What does he do? Brings you out of it. Every single time, to the point where we feel humiliated and feel kind of stupid. We've done bellyache and cried and, work God out and everything, and why me and all that kind of stuff. And then here he comes through and just does a miracle and takes us out of it. And he's ready for the next one. And walking with God is an adventure. like the children of Israel, he took them out of Egypt going the wrong way, took them to the Red Sea and the canyons, then told Pharaoh, go get them, they're stuck. That's how he does business, that's his ways. And then who'd have thought he's going to open the Red Sea and take them through and drown the Egyptians. Don't try to second guess him, he got skills. God can do things, this is one that makes snowflakes, individual snowflakes. How many ideas do you think he has for salvation? Unlimited. He's going to teach them to learn my ways. So the worse the situation is, the more you got to do.
That's right.
I like that song. I'm looking for a miracle. I believe in impossible. I don't want to see a miracle in my life. I don't have to see a miracle in my life. But there have been situations where I needed a miracle, and every time he's done it. Now I'm trying to learn how to walk with God and go through the bad stuff and not say anything about it. And I'm like, it's okay, Lord. This is cool. I come with God, the less you complain, and the quicker you put your mind to the fact that he's still with me, and I'm going through, that's when he takes you out of it. Okay, you have that.
Amen.
The longer it takes us to pass it, the longer it keeps us in it, where it has to repeat it again. Sometimes we bail out. We get a way to bail out. And I think God provides the means to bail out sometimes. So you can let me take you out, or you can go to this situation here, and you know it's not me. So you don't figure it out, okay? Plan B, plan C, and he wants to be your plan A and no other plan.
That's right.
And it takes a while to get that way with God. But when you get there, it's like you do not one thing. You don't worry, you don't lose sleep. It's like, this is as bad as it can get. And you praise the Lord. You know this is as bad as it can get because you made it this way. Right? So, but you also promised me heaven. You also promised me eternal life. And you cannot lie. And so if you can make those kind of promises, I'm sure you can handle this.
Yeah.
And this, and go to bed. Give it to him. The song says, take your burdens to the Lord and leave him there. Tell God how bad it is, as if he doesn't know, but just tell him how you feel about it, so I'm like this on bed, and then go to bed and say, okay, well, good night, Lord. And leave him there. Don't go to bed now and start, worrying, leave the light on and watch a late movie and everything, trying to come to a solution. Let it go, drop the load, and go to sleep. Or go eat some ice cream or something, just let it go. There you go. And he brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi with him, and you seek the priest also, for which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And Moses said, by the way, what is Aaron that you murmur against him? What did Aaron do to you? Because I can see me murmuring against me, although you have no reason to, but you guys are murmuring against me and Aaron. Aaron's just the spokesman. He just speaks when I tell him to speak. Why don't you get mad at Aaron? He doesn't do this. This Moses was not very proud. Because Aaron's taking this personal, Yeah, I'm sure Moses, I'm mad at me. What did I do? Moses, you do nothing. Moses, what did I do? I'm telling you what God said, and I'm speaking what God said, and you're telling what I said to you. Neither Moses did anything. He's going to put his case to him. And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Imagine that. He said, you guys come forward, and we're not coming up. This is a small thing that thou hast brought us up into the land that flowed the milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness. Except thou makest thyself altogether prince over us. And, it's a little thing they're talking about. Most talking about little things, small things, so now they are. They said a small thing that you promised us to go to land, milk, and honey, and you're going to kill us in the wilderness. Is that a small thing? And on top of that, you make yourself Lord over us? Moreover, thou hast not brought us to a land that flows milk and honey, or givest us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out eyes of these men? Who will not come up? So what you going to do, put our eyes out? There's an expression sometimes we learn from a friend of mine in the military. He said, what are you going to do, take away your birthday? But they said, what are you going to do, put our eyes out? I think most like a real friend now. You're going to kill us, just put our eyes out then. You're going to kill us in here. We're not coming up. And Moses was very wrong. And said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. The worst thing that a prophet or minister can say to anybody in the congregation is say, Lord, don't take their offering anymore. Don't respect it anymore. Don't bless them for it anymore. Just don't take it. Because your offering is you. Here's the thing, and here's why this works. When you read about Cain and Abel, the first stories you read about offerings in the Bible, it says, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. He did not respect it to Cain or his offering. God does not separate you from your offering. He respects you and your offering, or does not respect you and your offering. It goes hand in hand. So when Moses said, don't respect their offering anymore, Moses is saying, don't respect it anymore. Okay? Anyhow. Moses said, I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord thou, and they, and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. They took every man his censer. I would skip that meeting. They took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. Come up the congregation of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And they fell upon their faces, here we go again, and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? Goes Moses again. No way. Intercede. I'm not here to hurt nobody. I'm here to try to save every one of you. Amen. You should have by now. I'm trying to save everybody in here. Period. Sometimes when you get out of line, I know you're going too far, Lord. I'm one of the first ones praying for you, so Lord, you know what they did, and they weren't in the right mind. Right. Just forgive me. Let that ride. Take it on me. I'm going to do that. That's my job. Okay? You guys have been giving me less and less occasions to do it, and that's good too. Okay? Yeah, the Lord spake to Moses, saying, do the work. Speaking to the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. What was God going to do? Destroy everybody. So now he says, okay, look, you guys are wrong. Get away from them. It worked. Moses said, one man sin, you're going to destroy the whole congregation? So the guy said, okay, well, God didn't say that, but God's actions changed. He didn't destroy everybody. He turned around and said, okay, lead them. Okay? And Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the others of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the intent of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, on every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, hereby you should know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them by my own mind. Who in their right mind would do that job? I'm just saying from experience. Who in the right mind would pick that job? You think God had me to do this? Are you doing this? You better think again. This is the last thing I'd be doing. Well, for the fact that I was drafted by God and I had no choice, like Paul said, there's been a dispensation given to me to preach the gospel, and woe be unto me if I don't. Right. But, you know, there's a lot of things I need to do. 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Have all weekends off. Saturday and Sunday. Go to the beach. Have a good time. You know? Don't worry about nobody. Nobody's going to come in, I'm going to live back and say, I got a problem, you're prepping me right now. No, I'm not the pastor, call somebody else. That'd be great. And I don't feel like dump that problem now, but I know that this is my job, so I got to totally shift gears, whatever, and okay, do the Lord's people. That's God put you over, and right now I think I get full attention, even though you don't think they deserve it sometimes. You know? I don't talk to you. But I can't say that. Okay, Lord. Now help me talk to them right. And give me words to say to them, because they're going to do whatever, because they're calling like an emergency, and it's late, and they sound stressed, and they're crying, and upset, and worried. Lord, help me to say something to them. It's going to meet them right now. You know? And it's okay with me now. It took a long time to get there. Anyhow, hereby you shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or let me visited after the visitation of all men. He said, they die regular deaths, God didn't send me. If they die normal death, God didn't send me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up, what thought it appertaining to them, and they go down, the word quick is, alive into the pit, At least you understand that these men have provoked the Lord. Now, you know what? I believe this. I think the Lord just gave it to me also. This could be me, though. I believe Moses was trying to think of what he could do to them. And I think in Moses' daydream, he said, I wish the earth opened to swallow them up. That's the way that Moses said that. Okay? So now Moses says, if the Lord make a new thing. He wasn't telling God to do this. He said, if the Lord make a new thing and the earth happened to do that and swallow them up, did you know that God, a new thing could be anything? That was an idea of what Moses thought a new thing. If they don't die a regular death, like most of them do, then, they will know. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground came asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that pertained to Korah, and all their goods. They and all that pertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. Now that'll make you act right from now on. I can hear the Bible number, I can real cool. You can hear a word from me over the cane. Okay? Not a word. I'm going to take my mouth, and just go work the cane. I don't have anything to say about Moses, I have no complaints, and everything is fine. Okay? Because you can never forget that scene. That's right. The earth is opening up, and they go down to it, and their houses, their tents, and everything belongs to them, and then close back up. I mean, there was some screaming there. And they're being closed up on them again. That hurt. And the earth opened her mouth, and all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry again. There you go. They're screaming. As the earth starts coming back in again on them and close them up. They're going to just take that with a little noise. The earth opened up and closed back on them. They were all buried at one time. And all Israel were round about them, fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. There's something they should have got swallowed up. They got away. And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. These were like they were Nadab and Abiram, the two sons of Aaron. The spark came out and just burned them up with their incense. 250. Those men should never approach with their incense things. They should realize in the right line, and just like I just said, look, I expect all this. Just I'm going to just put my incense down. I'm sorry, Moses, and apologize to Aaron, apologize to God, apologize to his sons, everybody, right? And everybody see my incense, I'm putting it right here in the ground, okay? I'm not a part of this. They kept their incense, just as big and bold. It says they lit their incenses, fire came out of their incense and burned them up. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, speaking to Eleazar the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning and scatter out the fire yonder, for they are hollow. The censers of these men, of these sinners, against their own souls, let them make them broad place for a covering of the altar. For they offer them before the Lord, therefore they are hollow, and they shall be a sign to the children of Israel. So he said, take all those censers, they're like containers, and beat them out flat, and load them together, and make them to be a covering and a lid for the altar. This is because of the hollow things. Okay? And here's the kicker, 41. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, you have killed the people of the Lord. Can you believe that? They murmured against Aaron and Moses and you killed the people of the Lord. Sometimes I take this job, sometimes this job I can't live in, okay? There's no money, there's no wisdom. What's the expression? I can't. But for losing, yeah. Get ready to look bad. Like, you killed the people of the Lord. That's when this took place. And it came to pass when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron. How did they do it? And they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, get you up from among this congregation, and consume them in a minute. That did it. He said, they actually accused you of killing the people of the Lord for something I did. He said, get up out the way, I'm going to kill all of them. And did he? And Moses said to Aaron, take the censer and put fire therein from the altar, okay? And put incense and go quickly into the congregation. Moses talking real fast here. And make an atonement for them, for there is wrath come out from the Lord, the plague is begun. And Aaron took as Moses commanded and ran to the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people, and he put on incense and